Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, quite a night of storms and thunder boomers and lightning. Wow. But on the way to the studio today, excuse me, yeah, the sun was breaking. Looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the last, 5 years or so, we've had more wind than I ever remember up on the escarpment. I guess it's just part of a trend of these stronger storms that we're getting. But we can be thankful that that's all we got. Poor folks down in the Bahamas, down here in the Florida region, Carolinas, they've been getting hammered really hard. So we have very little to complain about here in Chautauqua County. Well, I hope you're having a great morning already, or good afternoon for those that are listening to us on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. Thanks for joining us on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. And for those that are watching us on YouTube later on, you can always catch us live Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock on channel 1301 on Spectrum. Okay. As a reminder, this is a live show Saturdays mornings, and you can give us a call, 753-5225, if you have a question for my guest. If you have a comment, if you have something you want to share, it could be your club or organizations have a fundraiser, or you want to do a shout out for somebody's birthday or special anniversary. We're cool with that. And we don't get very many calls here, and I understand, but this show is very innocent. It's easy to work with. Just call. A friendly voice will pick up the phone, and we'll just say, Access Chautauqua, and then you just tell them what you want, and either you can go on the air live with me, or you can just give them the information, and they'll share it with me either through my earpiece, or give me a piece of paper telling me about your event. So please don't hesitate. We welcome all sorts of announcements. Okay, this afternoon, speaking of announcements, just briefly, Will and I are going to be wrapping up our summer season, and we're going to be performing over at the Jamestown Farmers Market there on Cherry Street from about noon to 2. Sometimes we start a little early, start a little bit later, depending on the setup down there and how much traffic there is. So come on down, it's really nice. And throughout the county, we have various farmers markets, and harvest season is coming. You can get some really nice produce, fruits and vegetables. The grapes are going to be ripe here real soon. And it's always good to buy food that's very close to your own home. The nutrients and the vitamins and minerals and all that good stuff come right from our soil right here in Chautauqua County. So what could be better? So please do support your farmers market. All right. Speaking of harvest time, I learned the hard way on this one a few years ago. I don't know if you remember, but I ended up going airborne in my truck because I wasn't aware of a situation during this time of year. And we'll just call it an accident, whatever you want. You can only lay so much blame on so many people. But harvest time is a big time here in Chautauqua County. And if you're new to the area or you're visiting, you got to be careful, especially at nighttime, at dusk. Our grape farmers are harvesting 24/7 very often, and they're moving their containers full of grapes, and a lot of times they're on semi-trailers and it's pretty dark. And you just got to be careful and mindful that you got farm trucks and vehicles coming and going off a lot of these little side farm roads, and just be careful. Be mindful of that as you're coming through a lot of our villages, anywhere from Silver Creek all the way down to northeast PA. That's the whole grape belt. Okay? All right. Not too long ago, we did a program here with the Office for the Aging on the dementia and Alzheimer's.
Hey, Doc.
Oh my God, he's here.
Doc.
Yes, I see you're here.
I made it. I just woke up, but I made it.
Okay, Rick.
Go ahead. Carry on.
Carry on, wayward soldier. All right.
Did you just wake up too?
Oh my gosh. All right. Rick's in the house. We'll talk more about that shortly.
Were you talking about something really important?
I was talking about something very important. All right.
I'm sorry.
Now you
Go ahead.
shh. We just had the Office for the Aging here. We were talking about Alzheimer's and dementia, and I noticed and read in the newspaper that Chautauqua County is the first county in New York State to be a dementia-friendly county. So good on all of us, and I encourage all of you to continue to sign up and do the training online to be a dementia friend, as I pointed out in my one show, and I have my certificate. It's probably displayed here in the studio. Okay, I have a few announcements, and then
Me.
you,
Ricky Mascaro.
Ricky Mascaro, will be on the show. So we'll get to him shortly. All right, here's a few announcements. All right, from our friends at Infinity. All right, right, Jeff, here we go. The Infinity Visual and Performing Arts welcomes 2 new instructors, Amani Barber, bass guitar, upright bass, and piano, and Genevieve Ellis, classical voice, musical theater, acting theater. All right, this is a new announcement. I haven't met them before. Have joined the Infinity team. Imani is currently offering private lessons in bass guitar, upright bass, and piano, and Genevieve is offering private and group lessons in classical voice, musical theater, acting, and theater. Imagine that, Rick. We're going to be talking about theater. You know, not everybody wants to play bass guitar. It's really hard to find somebody to play it. Everybody wants to be a lead guitarist and ripping up the chords, but the bass is really the foundation of a rock group or instrumental group. So I'm glad to hear that somebody else is learning all this. Okay, Imani is coming from Charlotte, North Carolina. And he recently moved to Jamestown to complete his master's degree in music performance at SUNY Fredonia. Amani holds a Bachelor of Music from the University of North Carolina School of the Arts in double bass performance. Amani is a seasoned symphonic, solo, chamber, and pit musician on multiple instruments spanning an array of genres. So upright bass would be more classical or big orchestra. So an electric bass, of course, could be played, I guess, just about everywhere. Genevieve is a recent graduate of SUNY Fredonia's BFA Musical Theater program and has over 12 years of experience in the performing arts. Since the start of her training, she has had the opportunity to perform across the U.S. in a number of shows, master classes, and competitions. Genevieve has experience in a wide variety of theatrical roles, including musicals and plays that vary in style and genre, ranging from pop, rock, and operetta to farce and Shakespeare. Okay, for more information regarding these 2 instructors, and if you have someone that's interested in signing up, give Infinity a call at 664-0991, 664-0991. Okay, also they want you to know that if you're interested in music, art, dance, or theater, then the Infinity Center is the place for you. Join Infinity's first new student orientation that's going to be held this Wednesday, September 18th from 3 to 5 p.m. And Thursday, September 19th between 4 and 5:45. Take a guided tour, meet the Infinity staff, and sign up for lessons. I'm telling you, if you haven't been there, it's fabulous. I mean, this is like, imagine you're a kid that's interested in some instrument that's really cool. They got all that stuff there. They got little rehearsal rooms, and they got a big stage where you can perform, and they do solo and group work, join a rock band, perform theater, whatever. It's really cool. Again, the number there is 664-0991 if you're interested. And that's over on East 2nd Street, 301 in the old Lynn building. All right. We're going to skip over a couple of these things because they're happening like as I speak, so we're not going to do a couple of these things. Okay, Chautauqua County Office for the Aging is conducting a survey of older adults and caregivers to help them plan for the next 4 years. This year they're utilizing SurveyMonkey. If you're not, it's a real thing. I've used it. It's really cool. And if you're interested in doing this paperless survey, you go to surveymonkey.com and you put /r/Chautauqua aging survey. So CHAUTCO aging survey, all one word. A paper form is available from New York Connects for those without email and will be distributed to senior groups. So probably many of you that are watching will probably get a paper copy, but if those of you that are interested, check it out. It's really cool. They want to know what you think. They want to know what you need. They want to know what are the things that we need here in Chautauqua County. So give them some information. Don't be shy. Okay, I got a little fun thing here from the Ripley Library, my hometown. And it says here, did you know if you come to the Ripley Library to do your homework and have to print something out, there's no charge for printing your homework? Who knew? Did you also know if you're a student and you accrue a fine at Ripley Library, you can read your fines away at $1 an hour. Even if the reading is for homework, it still counts. Justin, you owe anything at the library? No? Because you're quite a reader, aren't you?
Not a student.
Were you a reader? You read a lot.
Yes.
When you were in school. So if you had fines, you could have read your fine away, but now you're all grown up. Too bad. Let's move on. Slide 17, Jeff. Well connected. Calling all healthcare practitioners, current and retired healthcare professionals, along with aspiring physicians in the Buffalo, Chautauqua, and all other areas of Western New York. There's going to be this thing called 716 Well Connected event on Wednesday, coming up September 18th at the Shorewood Country Club. Hear from local healthcare innovators about how their own experiences, including treatment, diagnostics, and equipment, have influenced their practice, along with why they chose to reside and work in the beautiful Western New York region. This year's event will be overlooking the beautiful waters of Lake Erie at the Country Club, and it's going to take place from 6 to 8 p.m. during the final days of summer. Highlights include complimentary game of 9 holes of golf, light bites, cocktails and conversation, music, information about the Chautauqua Center. Why would you want to choose Western New York to work? There's going to be some prizes. Information provided from the sponsor called Your Care Health Plan. Reconnect and meet with healthcare leaders, enjoy collaboration between healthcare professionals, and discuss the key to quality of care for all patients at this free, informative event. If you're interested, give our friend Alicia Ekstrom a call over at the Chautauqua Center at 863-3010, 863-3010, and you get all kinds of information from her. And finally, our last slide for today, we're light on announcements, only 4 pages. I've had 13 pages in the past, so I'm a little late, folks, so keep sending those events coming in. Vendor and Craft Fair, September 21st at Noble Winery. The Ripley Public Libraries will be there. Noble Winery on Hard Scrabble Road in Westfield from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be a wide variety of items on display, and I encourage you to enjoy the charm of the winery. It's beautiful up there. But it's a fundraiser, of course, for the library, and give them a call at 736-3913 if you are interested. So I'm going to take a little break here. We have a public service announcement, and we're going to escort my guest from the back of the studio to the front of the studio. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor. I've been saved twice, so who says I can't save somebody else?
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
All right. Well, folks, my good
Are we
friend.
back on already?
We're back. Will you put that on there?
I didn't even
Thank
have a
you.
chance to swallow any coffee or anything. Go ahead. Go
I prepared the crew that you were coming, but I just didn't know you were going to like make a grand entrance.
I just make a lot of noise on my
Yes, it does. Just put it on there. All right, thank you.
There.
All right, folks. Oh, good news. He hadn't turned your volume up yet.
Darn. Darn.
Oh, okay, we censored all that. Well, anyways, my good friend and buddy here, Rick Mascaro, is joining me here this morning.
They caught me drinking coffee.
That's okay.
Oh, sorry.
As long as it's coffee or something along those lines. Okay, well, thanks for waking up.
I barely made it today.
Well,
This is my 100th visit to Doc. It's the only time I've ever kind of had
We made it work.
mental lapse. That's good.
We owe Sue big time.
Yeah, that works.
I had to figure out my network to get to you.
Susie's out in the car. Her hair's all messed up. She doesn't have any shoes on. She was over banging on my window saying, "You're supposed to be at Doc's." And I went, "What the? I don't have a doctor appointment today."
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
This guy, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, well, nonetheless, I always look forward to having you on the show, and I know a lot of people enjoy your energy in the morning.
It's like the Three Stooges.
Woo.
Coffee.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
let's
Doc.
let's frame this here.
All right.
All right. The reason why I had you on the show again is because you've been doing some really unbelievable work. You've been working with the Lakeshore Center for the Arts for a number of years, and I think I've been riding that wave with you from day one. I believe so.
I believe so.
And I've had the good fortune to actually work with you on stage, off stage, and so forth. And you've been working on a really cool project, and I really want to take some time to talk about the project, because you're in phase 2 of this project.
This is the second offering.
Okay.
Yes.
So I remember hearing about the first part of the project, and we're going to talk about it in a second, but I'm framing this. And when I read or you told me about this, I just kind of looked at you and I thought, wow, this is really profound. It's profound because, first of all, it takes a lot of work to do what you're doing, but from the angle that you were approaching it, it was really a commitment to your community. So go ahead and let's talk about phase 1 and what your thinking was and all that of Harvest Moon.
Well said, Doc.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you.
Harvest Moon is a project we started. The first offering was in 2017, and that was Harvest Moon 1. And this year, it's called Harvest Moon 2019.
Clever title.
And we we thought long and hard.
You didn't have to change much on the sides.
Yes,
did
right.
you?
We just had to add that on the bottom with the magic marker.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there.
But it's Harvest Moon 2019 this year, and I've always been an advocate of if you don't know what your past was, you're going to make the same mistakes over. I've a great advocate of that. If you don't know what's happened in the past, you're going to make the same mistakes over and over again, and you're not going to know why you are where you are today. You know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do, because in my own personal life, I've spent a lot of time studying my family's genealogy, trying to understand our culture of my family and why we did certain things and certain rituals, and why my mother was a wild Sicilian, and reason why we did things.
They're all wild
They're
Sicilians.
wild Sicilians, and she was. No, she was. And my dad being who he was, and when I studied our background and culture, so many things came clear to me when I look back.
Right.
Now you take that and put it into a larger setting,
Right.
a community, a state, a country, whatever. So yeah, so I get it. You have to kind of look back sometimes, understand where you are.
And the good part and the bad part, because research, you can only go back with people that knew these people so far to have hands-on research. So the character, I'll give you the premise first. Harvest Moon deals with deceased members of Westfield's culture that had some kind of impact on the community, be it good, be it bad, be it funny, be it humorous, be it a business leader, whatever. But what we do is we go through and we bring back these individuals through actors or through storytellers that explain just what this individual was about, and based upon the information gathered from many and myself, because I know most of them. Some of them I don't know this year, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But because when you pull those all together, you get a good compilation of what that person was. For instance, Doc is going to be Mayor Shelley Green. And if probably a lot of you that know Westfield, Green's Flower Shop was the flower shop in Westfield for years and years and years and years. And Shelley was a good friend of mine when I was a little kid. I used to go up to he used to have greenhouses on the street that I lived on, and I'd go up in my little red tractor and move things around and pretend like I was
You were
doing
a
something.
little farmer.
But he was, what'd you call a little farmer? A little farmer, yes. And he had a great influence on my life. And he was also a great community leader. He was a good businessman, and he was a great community leader. He became mayor in
It's the mid-70s.
65.
No, mid-70s.
Was it mid-70s?
Yes, because I've done my homework.
Okay, mid-70s through, well, I thought he ended in the mid-70s.
Well, you go to Easton Hall, it puts the dates are up there.
I don't, oh, okay. Now, see, the other part of this is I'm working off the seat, by the seat of my pants today, because I left my things at the theater. So I'm working from memory.
Recently, I sent you a text. It said "deja vu."
Yeah.
So what else is new? No, seriously, in the Easton Hall, it has the years that he was mayor.
See his picture?
Yeah.
Do you see kind of the similarity between you and he?
Very handsome, tall, slender guy.
Oh Lord, here we go. Okay.
Good sense of humor. I've been researching the
I'll
man.
take
I've
that.
been talking to people.
Well, he was.
He
Except
was
for the beard, and we're not going to make you cut the beard off.
In the afterlife, he grew a beard.
Oh, did he? He did. That's right. He did.
I did.
He had the same color hair as you.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And all that kind of
you know
stuff.
what?
What?
He also was a Mason. I'm a Mason.
Yeah, he was a Mason.
See, I've been doing my research.
He was a Mason. That's
He was a
good.
hard worker,
He was a very hard
and
worker.
he would. And if you didn't do it, he just did.
Now
he did
here's
it anyways.
here's the thing, costume-wise for you. Do you have any? What do they call them? The cargo shorts that look like army fatigues, and he used to wear army, like Fred Johnson used to wear. Do you remember Fred? He used to wear the army fatigue shorts and shirt, and he was very kind of.
Oh, so I'm not gonna
manly.
manly guy.
Or we can either go that way, which is the way most people remember Shelley, or we can go with a shirt and tie.
Well, I
as-
was thinking
as
of
the
looking
mayor.
like the mayor with a bow tie.
That's good. Yeah, you can do that. You can go with the mayor, but
Cargo shorts.
one of the two ways is what he was. But
How about a bow tie and dungarees?
no, Shelley wouldn't wear that. No. We'll talk about it Sunday.
We'll talk about
it Sunday.
So why did you pick me for Shelley Green? I thought I didn't even know who Shelley Green was till I had
You were the closest living person that I know that looks like him a little bit.
Okay.
That people would understand why I picked you
Okay.
to Shelley Green.
All right.
Yeah. But
All right, so Shelley Green is the mayor.
the point being with Shelley Green, each character, of which we have 16 in this play this year. We have 16
Someone was
different-
asking me about that.
different characters.
Okay.
8 Act 1 and 8 Act 2. Each character has some are just a few minutes, some go up to 10 minutes, and I think you're probably somewhere in the middle in
Yeah,
there.
about 5-6 minutes. I think, yeah.
But it gives a condensation of what that person was about. And with you, in your monologue, which you know because you've read it, it just kind of lets people know what his ideas were. He
Yeah.
was very pro Westfield, and he was very pro downtown business Westfield.
No question about it.
Yeah, he did a lot of things to build the Westfield business community.
Yeah, that comes through in the monologue very much so. Why Harvest Moon? Why the title Harvest Moon?
Because an old story says that the spirits gather on Harvest Moon.
Oh.
And
So this is like our town,
kinda.
but not.
Kind of like our town.
Not sad.
Yeah, kind of like our town. In fact, did we know each other when I did Spoon River Anthology?
No.
If you're an English teacher or an English student, Spoon River Anthology, you've read it. Do you know Spoon River Anthology?
I think maybe.
It's the story of a cemetery, and the characters come to life and talk about all the good things and horrible things that happened in this fictitious community. And I did that play, and it went over great, and people really loved it. And I just thought, wow, what a great way to share the past. Because we spend so much time fixing up old buildings and restoring things from the past, but we never did anything to save we never did anything to save the personalities from the past. So you have buildings, but you have no idea who the people were that were in those buildings.
So is this a unique project, or are other folks doing this in other areas?
There are some other ones out there, but I mean, it's not widespread.
It's unique to me.
It's not
I think it's
widespread.
really, really interesting. So since this is Harvest Moon 2019, and you have 16 characters, can you tell us a little bit about who the people were in Harvest Moon 2017, and why you started with those people, perhaps?
I started with the people in 2017 because I probably knew them best, and it was easier to do the research. This year, I'm glad I left. I'm hoping this could be a biannual offering. Simply because the deeper I go into this, the less I know the people. You know, I picked the people I knew best first, and I know the people this year, but not as well as I knew the people the first time through.
So who'd you have the first time?
Oh Lord,
just a handful. You don't have to go all of them.
Well, I had the entire Deutschmeister band.
You had a whole band?
Yes.
They all came back?
They all came back.
Wow.
I had Myrtle Stufer, who was, she was I hate to say old lady, but she was an old lady who'd call everybody in Westfield out of the phone book and sing happy birthday to them on their birthday. Yeah. I remember my mother saying, Ricky, Mrs. Stufer.
She's here for you.
She's here for you. I had Mrs. Stufer. I had Tony Karras, who owned the restaurant on Main Street. A lot of people that know Westfield would know Tony. But just people that, the first year was...
That was the Olympian.
There you go. How do you know that?
Because it's in my monologue.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Yeah, that's right.
But you know, I asked my wife about it, and she didn't know it. So it must have been quite a long time ago.
It was right around where Bob Ducato is now, somewhere in that vicinity. But yeah, those are a couple.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember all of them.
So you are the Lord and master of the. I mean, you get to pick and choose, right?
I'm the guide.
This is yours.
Yeah.
Do you have to copyright this thing, or
no?
That's
the other nice part about this is that it's it's not my material. I could take credit for some of it that I wrote, but I also have gotten a lot of cooperation getting in touch with families that have provided pictures. A lot of them have provided letters from these people, memories that they have of these people. So it's a great productive compilation of relatives or friends of this person, and then I take all that and try to put it together in a segment that will fit within the confines of the time they have allotted.
Well, you know, you and I've worked together in theater now a few times, and when you asked me to do this, it's sort of like there's no character sketch for this person. I had no idea who this person was, so I had to ask a few people, and some people have given me some interesting background on it.
I'm glad you did, and that's what we're doing Sunday. Briefly, is go around and have everybody tell who their person is, and get feedback from the rest of the group as to what they remember about that person, and I'll give information on what I remember. But a lot of the people that are playing these folks now weren't even alive when these people were.
Right, and I'm not even from Westfield. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Westfield, but I mean, so I don't even, there's no place where I can just go and say, let me learn more about this individual, or you know, the shop is gone. I mean,
Yeah.
but you know, I do remember my mother-in-law worked for that greenhouse.
The greenhouse?
Or not the greenhouse, the flower shop.
Yeah, down on Main Street.
Okay, for a while. So I had a tiny connection, but I think Shelley was gone long before that.
But it was interesting. In town on Grove Street, which is in the village proper, he had like 4 giant greenhouses that he grew stuff in. They're gone now.
Wow.
They built houses in there, but I always, not looking back, that's quite a weird place to have 4.
But you wouldn't know that. So this is
Yeah.
so. All right, so 16 characters, 8 in the first half of the show, 8 in the second half of the show. But there's a spin on the second half.
There's a spin on the second half, and something near and dear to my heart, and that's honoring veterans. And Act 2 this year is devoted to World War II Westfield soldiers and also Red Cross that took part in World War II. And I'll tell you what. First of all, this takes a lot of research to get. I mean, it's like
When I saw this, I was overwhelmed because I understand it. You know.
yeah. I mean, it takes hours. I've been in the library with Nancy over there and going through stuff. And the weird thing is, some of these people that are really outstanding and had quite a record in Westfield, if you Google them or if you do searches for them, there's nothing there.
I tried to
There's
find Sheldon
nothing
Green
there.
and nothing popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird that you know, before 2000, if you died, that's it, man. You're gone unless
Yeah.
you were really important.
The only time you ever find something like that is like if somebody passes away and there's a reference that that person was a relative
Right.
in their obituary or
Right.
something like that, or obviously if they were documented somewhere else in some organization or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I found a number of people. Some of them I don't know. Some of the people contacted me, and one character. Well, actually, a couple of characters, but one character comes to mind. Thomas Morse, who was killed on D-Day. He was parachuting in, but his daughter never knew him. His daughter never met him,
Right.
but she always wanted to know who her father was. And Brenda, excuses me if I say your last name wrong, Nightingale, I think. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But she went as far as to traveling to Holland to find the people where he had landed and talked to these people and did such in-depth research simply to find out who her dad was. And she contacted me and she said, "Can I do my dad?" And I said, "Of course,
Wow.
absolutely." But the problem with this individual character was she had such a plethora of information that you had to take,
Synthesize it right down to a few minutes.
into one cohesive whole. And I think we did that. But with a lot of the World War II folks, that's what we had to do because there was a lot of information. Another character in Act 2, which again is devoted to World War II, is Connie Nixon. Connie Nixon was with the Red Cross, and she was Nancy's aunt. I think that's the way it would work.
Okay.
She was Nancy's aunt. She just recently passed away. But she went with the Red Cross, and she was in India. She was in all over the world with Red Cross. And
Stories that have never been told.
her son sent me letters that go, again, this was another one you just had to go through and cut little pieces out to end up with a
Make the
cohesive story.
So how did you decide on Connie Nixon?
I was talking with Nancy, and Nancy, I was in there doing research, and she said my aunt was in the Red Cross, and I hadn't thought about the Red Cross, but the Red Cross still plays a vital role,
huge.
vital role.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she said, I think my uncle has all kind of information on her. And my eyes lit up, and I said, "Can I contact him?" And she said, "Sure." So I contacted him. The weird part is about all these people from World War II, they're all very hesitant. All of them were very hesitant at first to share these stories because it was so private and so personal. And this was, you were talking about hallowed ground that you're walking on when you do these people, you know.
I do.
So I got permission from all of them. I promised them that I would go through and pull information out and put together a script. I would send it to them. They could give me any feedback they wanted to. I would not do anything they did not feel comfortable with. I would change whatever they wanted me to change as long as we stayed within the guidelines of the story. But I would do whatever I could to accommodate their needs of keeping that hallowed ground, you know.
And respect it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so for those who are listening, watching right now, 16 individuals. So if they're sitting in the audience, you don't have to give it all away, but I mean, what are they going to see?
They see either the individual themselves, or in some cases, they see a relative. I have several different stations that they go up to, and the person will simply talk to the audience and tell them their story. And it's like a character monologue here, a character monologue here, a story here. There's also music involved, which you know, because you're going to do a song now. I think if we have time, we're going to do that. We're going to see what time we have. But Doc has kindly offered to, go ahead, tell them what you're going to do.
Well, you know, because somehow I end up in these productions, I never know how this happens. I really honestly don't. I don't know if you just say, hey, would you like to do this? And I go, I got nothing better to do that day. I don't know. But some of these things intrigue me. I guess that's why I like them. They intrigue me. And so I had seen my role, and it's been sitting. And I looked at it the other day, and I'm going Harvest Moon, and it was just running through my mind, and I thought, you know what? I wrote a song 10 years ago. I've never played it out, and it's a love song, but it's also a generational song. I know that seems hard to believe, but you start out with a couple. And it's very condensed, obviously, and then it's a little bit about their life, and then one passes, and then the other passes, and then the grandchildren. So it kind of fits what you're doing.
Absolutely fits.
And originally I wrote it when I was out west in Wyoming, and I called it Cheyenne Moon, because I was thinking of people out there and a love song. Well, it never really took off, and I've kicked it around, and I thought, what if I put Harvest instead of Cheyenne, and the thing just like bling,
popped,
and I just changed a couple of words around, and I all of a sudden I could see this image of the whole show in my mind, and I sent you the words, and you haven't heard the song yet. Maybe I can do it for you this morning, not now. But
no, do it now.
I don't have it with me.
Where's your
it's
guitar?
It's outside.
Oh.
Anyways,
Here, I'll talk to them. You
No.
We
Hey,
don't give
ladies
and gentlemen.
No. But anyway, so I simply wrote to you and said it's adapted from Cheyenne Moon 2009, and I called it Harvest Moon, and I can hear it in my head. And the problem is now it's like a earworm. It keeps running in my head.
It's a nice transformation. It really
So
is.
I think
Works.
you'll enjoy it, and if you can stick around this morning, maybe I'll pull out the guitar, because I said I'm going to Jamestown to play, but I could pull it out and have it.
And I told him when he sent me this that I would love to use it, as long as it fit. I try to keep this 2 hours and under, because I've been an audience member. Anything over 2 hours,
Right.
you need a lot of coffee. So
It was 13 minutes long, and I trimmed it down to like 2.
13 minutes long.
No.
Okay.
It's a very short
Well,
song.
I'm hoping we can get it, and I think we probably can. So
I think you'll like it. So where are we? So I get the idea now that people aren't staring in one spot. Their attention moves around the stage, and then
But they're all talking to the audience.
right. And that kind of reminds me of the show that we've been doing for a number of years now. Is It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of the same idea, like
Yeah.
a radio show almost, where the individual is speaking like a little story or whatever. Use the word storyteller earlier. That's an interesting idea. These are stories, aren't they?
They are stories, and they are all scripted. This asking people to memorize what I'm giving them would be a handful for most people, not for Doc, because he is.
Oh
he has a memory like a steel trap.
Steel trap,
Like that.
like for cheese that
Yeah.
would just come oozing out. No.
But they're all
no.
off monologue. But they're all off scripts. I work with these people, and we put this giant visual musical show together in 2 weeks. You don't put a show together. Nobody puts a show together. But the reason we can is because we're scripted.
Right.
But people think that sounds easy. If you're scripted, you have more time to spend on the emotion, on the visual contact, on actually taking those words and making them real.
You know, we've been together with It's a Wonderful Life, and people think, oh, what's the big deal? You're reading a script. It's trickier because you're not interacting with anybody on stage. You're interacting with the audience. And how do you talk to people that are like 20, 30 feet away from you and trying to get your character across? So it's a very different theater style for me.
It is.
Okay, so Harvest Moon 2017, how many characters did you have in there? Do you remember? Like 10, 12?
The same.
Oh.
Yeah, we had 16 then.
16 then?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
let me go back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me go back to the World War II in Act 2. There are I think 4 of the characters play themselves, are the actual people talking to you. 2 of them are...
Wait a minute. Hold it. You
Yeah.
told me these were deceased.
Well, they are. I mean, somebody is portraying them as the person themselves. Some of them are family stories. A daughter telling, like, for instance,
Okay.
Thomas Morse is his daughter
telling her
story about her.
All right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to...
And then some of them are simply readers that are reading information about that person.
Gotcha.
But they're all high energy. A lot of Act 2 has to do with D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Vinnie Clarko, do you remember Vinnie?
Absolutely, Vinny.
Vinnie's in there, and he's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost tears me up to think about the things that he went through, because he went through D-Day, he went through the death camps, he went through all that stuff.
Yes.
I remember he used to talk to me at the restaurant about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a young high school kid that's playing Vinnie. Vinnie owes me, because I have this handsome young man that's playing him. Vinnie, and he has this gorgeous hair and stuff. And
yeah.
Vinnie owes me now, because I make him better.
I'm sure
he looks better than he's ever looked in his life. So
Vinny was an amazing man. Yeah, he would come around to all of our tables and making sure everybody had enough food. He said he doesn't do a thing but talk. Okay, so you had put out a blast the other day or on Facebook about looking for World War II veterans.
see, you beat me to the punch on this one.
We work together.
We do.
So what's that about?
Well, because Act 2 is featured on World War II, I'm trying to find as many living World War II vets. And originally I was doing it as just Westfield World War II vets, but there are so few World War II vets left that if you're a World War II vet, or if your grandpa is, or if you're a World War II vet drinking your coffee this morning, we're inviting you to please come and sit together each night. You can get in for free. There's no admission for you, obviously, and you'll be recognized for your amazing service in World War II. Because all soldiers do amazing things, but World War II is like, if you have a library, it's the big thick book. It's the big thick book up there. So I invite you personally, and I salute you for what you've gone through, and I would love to have you in the audience just to hear this stuff and to let people know who you were and what you did for this country. And it means an awful lot to me, and I think it means an awful lot to everybody that knows the story.
Okay, so let's give them some information, Rick. Okay. So if you're a World War II veteran, chances are you're in your 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, and where's this going to be held?
This is held in the Presbyterian Church sanctuary.
So that's like in the church?
That's in the church.
Okay.
Now, our organization, Lakeshore Center of the Arts, is the whole upper third floor in the annex of the Presbyterian Church. This is in the church itself.
All right.
It's big, it's beautiful, the acoustics are good. When you come in, you need to come in through the front door. And if you have problems, I'll also have people there to assist you getting in and that sort of thing. The front door, as it were, there has to be an official word for the front door of a church. What is it? Church's frontus organ. I don't know. Something like that. But you go into the park and you go in up the steps up the front, and that's the way you'll go in.
And this is just across from the library, right?
Right across the street from the library.
Route 394.
In between the museum and the library, the Presbyterian Church sits there. So go in the front door.
And it's going to be held on what dates?
It's October 4th and 5th, which is a Friday and Saturday.
Okay. Now, can the veterans attend both nights?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And for those that aren't World War II veterans, what's the cost?
$15.
$15 for a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
That's a heck of a deal.
I mean,
Once you get over $10 in Westfield, everybody's kind of going, I don't know about that. But $15 is a deal for the show.
Okay.
It's a big one.
so people are going to say, well, where's the $15 go?
Half of it goes to the Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Half of it we donate to the Presbyterian Church. That's part of our deal with this. Whenever we do anything in the sanctuary, we split whatever we make at the door. The other half goes towards Lakeshore Center for the Arts, of which we are doubling our size and starting a number of new projects, and whatever we make is going to be going to upgrades and improvements that we're in the process of doing.
All right, we'll come back to that here shortly. All right, so let's bring some closure to this. Then let's talk about other things you're doing. So Harvest Moon is going to be held October 4th and 5th, 7 o'clock. What time?
8 o'clock.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
And the reason it's at 8 o'clock is because we rely so much on projections and lights and that sort of thing.
So you want it good and dark.
Want it good and dark. That's why.
Okay.
I know that's a little late curtain time for around here, but that is the reason why.
So chances are you get everybody out of there by 10.
Well, we also have a reception afterwards for anybody and everybody that's there to come meet those that are in it, to talk about what you just saw, to hobnob with your neighbor, that sort of thing. And there's
So what does the reception consist of?
drinks and snacks and that sort
Munchy
of
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, finger foods or something. Okay. Nice, nice.
And we'll announce it that night, but I'm hoping we'll be able to do it so we can get you upstairs into the new part's not going to be done, but into the Lakeshore Center for the
Oh,
Arts,
yeah.
just so you can see what that is up there.
Okay. So
If not, it'll be downstairs in the church
so you've sent me a poster?
dining room.
I have no poster.
No, you don't.
How am I supposed to talk about
I just got out of bed, Doc. Come on now, man.
It says today's the
how do you
14th.
work with-
Today's the 14th of September,
Yeah.
and the show's going to be October 4th. It's like 3
I'll
weeks
send
from
it to
now.
you when I get home.
All right.
I'll go on my computer. And
All
send
right,
it to you.
and then we'll try to get it on the community
And my house
calendar.
is like, I just got a new computer, and I'm switching my old computer over to my new. You know what a mess. You know. What a
Yes,
mess
I
it is.
do. I've seen your computers.
Lordy. Anyway,
Okay, so get us a poster so we can get it out there. I think this is an important work. Okay, I'm not just saying that because you're here. I would say it.
I think it's an important.
I think it's
work
an important
too.
work.
I think it's an important work because of the people, and I especially think it's an important work because of the vets.
You know what's scaring me?
Me.
That's that too. But somebody is going to do Harvest Moon like 2058.
Yeah.
And you and I are going to be some of
Yeah.
those characters.
Doc.
Rick, not you again. Where's Rick? Where's Rick? Can you tell us a little bit about the cast? Who's going to be besides me?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Some of them. I mean, I know you can't. I remember some of them.
I can't remember all of them, but
Some of them are my fellow thespians. I saw that.
Marty Hemmer. You've never worked with
Never
him
worked with
before.
Marty.
You know
no.
Marty?
I know who he is.
Okay. Marty's dad, he's portraying his father, and his father was Judge Ken Hemmer in Westfield, who was the village judge for a number of years. Who else is in there? My sister, Joan Caruso.
Who's she playing?
She's playing Maureen Ross, and Maureen Ross was a reporter from the Chicago Tribune that moved to Westfield. Jim Meade was at the Republican.
Oh, yeah,
at
I know
that
Jim.
time. Do you know Jim?
Yeah.
And she was a very good friend of their family, and when she retired from the Chicago Tribune, she moved here and worked for the Republican. So the Republican had a Chicago Tribune super reporter working for him for quite a while.
So and we got John Daly.
John Daly's going to be there. I hope. I've got to find him today to make sure. John, if you're watching this show,
Of course he is. Everybody watches.
if you're watching this show, you better be there tomorrow night at 7.
Brenda Backus.
Brenda Backus is there. Brenda's, you didn't know, maybe you did know her. Did you know Margaret Locke, the school teacher?
No.
Oh, she was,
Is there a relation to Bill Locke?
No.
Different Locke.
Yeah, different Locke.
Master Locke.
She yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but she was a fabulous teacher and very funny. Elsie McCutcheon, do you know Elsie? Does
I
that
know the
ring a bell?
name. I know the
She used to have a
McCutcheons.
column in the Republican
Okay,
that was,
yeah, I
that was
think
in
so,
there weekly.
yeah.
But she was also a history teacher at Westfield,
Okay.
and she was a character. So
Who else? Kelly Matthews.
Kelly is playing his father, Matty Matthews. Yeah, Matty was trumpet par excellence. So
Okay, I'm trying to think who else is my fellow actors. Libby. Who's Libby? Libby's.
Libby's a singer. She's doing most of the music for us. John's doing some music.
Okay.
You're doing one song, but
yeah.
Libby and John are doing most of our music.
Okay, super.
So I'm not doing.
So she's not a character. She's
right.
She's in music.
She's got like 3, maybe 4 major songs she's.
That's a lot of work. Okay.
And I didn't want to, when you get too many things going, you kind of lose focus. So I just wanted to
Imagine
focus on songs.
Okay.
So-
All right. So Lakeshore for Center. So October 4, 5, 8 p.m., $15, and World War II vets are welcome and they're free.
Yes.
Let's talk more about what you were getting at with the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. What's coming up? What are you doing?
We have just procured the entire upstairs. We were half the upstairs, but things have happened in that building where one of the groups that was there is no longer there. The Scouts were upstairs, so the Scouts have moved downstairs to take advantage of the space that had opened up with this other group leaving, which leaves the entire 3rd floor available to us. So we are putting in we've gotten the whole floor and have leased the whole floor for the next period of time, and we'll begin painting and changing all that over. We're doing a brand new green room where actors wait to go in and do plays. We're doing a brand new conference room with a big conference table, new office area, costume storage and carpentry shop for building sets. We're doing
This is getting serious.
it kind of scares me because it's getting really serious.
The first time we talked, we're looking for a place to rent or lease, and you bought chairs, and now you've got like your own production studio.
Well,
here.
now listen to this.
I am.
The other thing we're putting in is called an innovation studio. This is a biggie. Listen, folks. This is.
I'm
a biggie.
listening. We're listening.
An innovation studio is computer-based creativity. It's a place where you can go to make and edit movies, do your photography, it's a sound studio. It's Adobe Creativity program that gives you the ability to produce things that you never thought possible. If Leonardo da Vinci had this, it would be a different world now.
Okay,
It would.
hold that thought because we have a phone call.
All right.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Doc. Rick, what the things you're talking about, it's absolutely fascinating.
Thank you. Come on down.
Okay. It's great that you're doing all these things in Westfield. I also wanted to announce that September is the month that we appreciate and honor our senior workers for their excellent skills
That's us.
and work ethic.
That's me and Doc.
That's right. That's right. We have great customer service skills. I don't know what happened to those with the next generation, but some of them have it, some of them don't. Customer service skills, dependability, willingness to learn, less on-the-job accidents. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
When is that?
The whole month of September.
The whole month of September?
we
Are there
honor-
like specific events?
Well, we're going to be giving an Employer of the Year award, but
This
I
is
can't
your
announce
show.
it right now. It's a secret. It's a secret. Some people may know, though.
This is my.
I'm sorry, I kind of took over the
co-host.
show here. I mean,
We've been doing the parade too many years ago. And I says, "Well, Rick started interviewing her." And I go like, "What's going on?"
It's a secret, but you will know. You will know who the Employer of the Year is because this particular person that hires senior workers has hired a excellent number of them and is just a terrific boss.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
So that's a surprise coming up then. That's
Oh,
good.
yes, I can't announce it now
Well-
because that person might be listening.
That's true. So you'll let us know at a future date then,
Yeah,
please.
Can you call us back and tell us? We won't tell.
Rick won't be here. Call me.
Yeah, I'll
You're
do
not
it
gonna
on
be
the
here.
air, and then I'll call their person and tell them to tune in.
All right.
Okay. Super. Anything else, Lynn?
That we have jobs coming up. We our grant was renewed, and
Oh,
I do
good.
have some funding to put some new people on. And how is everything with everyone there?
Wild and woolly as usual here with
Oh,
Rick.
that's good. You're going to need the woolly when it starts getting colder too.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting
Let's
there.
pop up a phone number for people to call you. I don't know if
All right.
we
The
did that.
number for the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging for the Senior Employment
Right.
Program and other senior services in Mayville is 753-4471.
All right.
And it is on the screen, and we're also on Facebook, thanks to Doc.
All right, super duper. And Facebook is growing, and it's a really good source of information.
It is.
Not because of me, because the folks at the Office for the Aging. I just gave it birth and grandfathered. That was all I did.
You got us going.
Okay. All right, Lynn, thanks for calling as always.
All right, and you have a wonderful weekend and week.
All right, enjoy yourself. Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Call them. Give them a call. What's going on?
Who we calling?
Let's call the.
Right now?
Yeah, we'll call them right now.
Oh, it's like a...
Maybe you could leave messages so we could leave like a joke message or something.
Oh my gosh. All right. So Lakeshore Center for the Arts is housed at the Presbyterian Church in Westfield,
Yes.
3rd floor.
Yes.
Some people might say, holy mackerel, how do I
Holy
get to
mackerel in the Presbyterian
moly,
Church.
holy
I get
mackerel.
it.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
It's a fish story.
Yeah.
All right. How do you get to the 3rd floor if you have a ambulation issue, walking?
You go to the museum side of the church off of, what street is that? I forget the name of that street. I think is it First Street?
Oh,
No, it's,
McClurg?
yeah, it's McClurg. There you go.
Who lives in Westfield? Who doesn't? Who
It's
grew up in
McClurg, it's
Westfield?
McClurg Street. You go on McClurg Street, and there's handicap entrance
Yeah.
right there on the side, and you can pull in there. There's two handicapped slots. I wish we had
And you have
more.
little chairlifts to go upstairs, right?
Well, we have chairlifts, but we also you can go to an elevator and go up to the 2nd floor. Then you'd have to get chairlifts up because we don't have an elevator. That
didn't
goes
know
straight
that.
Up. Yeah,
Oh,
there's an elevator in the middle.
okay.
When they put it in, I'm still not clear why I'm sure it was money, but I don't know why they didn't go up to that 3rd floor.
Yeah.
You know how they talk about people that their elevator doesn't go up to the 3rd floor? Well, we're a building.
I know a
like
few,
that.
yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay, so you're expanding and you're going to have this creative, innovative area for people to work in. Now, is this for like the community or anybody?
Absolutely. We are always looking for new members, and please join us. We would love to. We have a good following. We have a very active group, and we have a lot of things to do. I mean, we're talking about this lab, and that's one thing we do. But we do plays. We have readers groups. We do movie nights, classic movie nights. We have all kind of activities going on.
It's phenomenal to me. It's really, really nice. Rick, we got about a minute and a half. What would you like to talk about? It's all you.
For a minute and a half?
Yeah, for a minute and a half.
Oh, all right. I guess what I'd want to talk about, and I'll be serious, Doc, rather than trying to be funny.
Okay.
My last minute and a half is the arts offer you so much. I mean, the arts, and part of it's selfish because I've devoted my life to the arts from the time I was in high school till now. But if you don't see a play now and then, if you don't read a book now and then, if you don't go look at pictures and things on a regular basis, do. It makes your life so much richer and so much better if you include the arts in what you're doing. And that's what our purpose is. We became active as a group because it was kind of missing when in 2012 when I retired from South Carolina and moved back up here. It was kind of absent. There was a lot for kids, but there wasn't for adults. So we're here to offer adults that opportunity to see a play or go to a play or talk about a book or go to a book club or paint a painting. Do those things that keep this going.
Get your juices flowing.
Get your juices flowing.
Things you always wanted to do.
And that's what we do is get your juices flowing.
Okay, folks, it's a wrap. How's
It's
that?
a wrap.
Rick Mascaro, the Executive Director of the Lakeshore Center for the Arts.
That's it.
And producer and writer of Harvest Moon 2019, coming up on October 4 and 5. Thanks, Rick, for joining us.
World War II vets, please come.
All right. So,
please come.
folks, it's a wrap for another week, and we'll see you all again here 9 o'clock on Access Chautauqua 1301. Please, please, please have a wonderful weekend. Be safe and enjoy all the great stuff here in Chautauqua County, and plan on attending Harvest Moon 2019.
Come see Doc.
They see me every week. Okay.